Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Driz back with another video today, and in this gameplay you guys are going to be watching two different gameplays actually for this long, kinda medium length commentary that I have for you guys. And the first gameplay we have it cranked on Sovereign, and that gameplay was like a 2-minute gameplay. It went by pretty fast, starting from the beginning to end. And the next gameplay we have is a cranked as well on Strikezone. And the main part of the main topic of this video is the Xbox One controller. I'm used to saying 360. Sorry about that, guys. And my preferences on it and how it changed my game a little bit. And I just kind of want to talk about it a little bit more because I haven't really seen a lot of videos on YouTube about talking about the Xbox One controller. I've seen unboxings, and so I kind of really want to get in depth into the controller and how it can benefit your game from the old Xbox 360 controller if you guys haven't switched over yet. So right off the bat, when you unbox the Xbox One, you pull out the controller, like second or third, and right as I pull out the controller, unwrapped it out of the plastic foamy type crap they wrapped it in, I noticed the thumbsticks right off the bat, and so it was just popping out. And the thumbsticks on this controller are a lot smaller. It's like half the size of the Xbox 360 controller, and it's almost like the middle where you rest your thumbs on the Xbox 360 controller. That is how big the thumbsticks are. Just the whole thumbstick is like the middle part of the Xbox 360 controller, and I find that a lot better helping me out in my game because on this controller my whole thumb fits right on the thumbsticks, and it gives me a lot more traction in game. And also notice on these thumbsticks that they're a lot more touchy, kind of like relating to the PS3 controller. And I'm kind of used to a controller like this with small thumbsticks since when I moved over to the Xbox 360 from the PlayStation. I got a controller that was wired as an Afterglow controller, and if anybody has ever used one of those controllers, it's for people with small hands like me that switched over. And it's a small controller for small hands because when I used the Xbox 360 controller for the first time, it was kind of big compared to the Xbox or PlayStation controller. So I used that, and it fit my fingers perfectly on the controller, and it was small in general. The thumbsticks were small, and I fit my whole hands around the controller, unlike I was able to when I first started playing Xbox. So and also in the thumbsticks, I have noticed that around the thumbsticks there is kind of like this traction, grippy type crap on it, and it keeps your fingers on the controller not easy to slide off, and it keeps your fingers on it. And I like these thumbsticks a lot more. It gives me a lot of control of my soldier and playing in Ghosts in any Call of Duty that I play, since that is basically the main game that I play on the Xbox. And then moving on to the D-pad, that's another thing right off the bat since it's right on the front of the controller. I noticed that the D-pad, when I used it first in game, it clicks now, and it's not that old crappy Xbox 360 D-pad that got worn out quickly, and the Xbox 360 controller didn't click, and when you went to use it, you weren't like positive that you're actually clicking your button, because mine was pretty worn out after a couple years of using it, and even months sometimes, depending on the controller that I got. It got worn out, so I oftentimes found myself having to click it twice or click it hard the first time, unlike the Xbox One controller where it's just kind of click, and that's pretty much it. So that's the D-pad on the Xbox One that you guys may find yourself in a kind of difference that you guys may like. I like it a lot more. It's not a hard click down, it's easy click, and that's one and done click. And yeah, moving on to like the back of the controller, I noticed the bumpers. So the bumpers kind of touch the triggers, unlike the Xbox 360 controller. So when I'm going to throw a nade or something, because I rest my fingers on the triggers since I shoot and aim, obviously, for playing Call of Duty, my fingers are touching the bumpers. So they made it on the top of the bumpers, where on the Xbox 360 you have to actually click it from the top. In the Xbox One controller, it's right on the back where you click it. So when you're touching your triggers, you kind of just have to move your finger upwards a little bit, and you can throw your nade, you can throw your stuns, flashes, equipment, whatever, while your fingers are still on the triggers. So that's awesome. I like that a lot more what Xbox did with that for the bumpers. But the triggers as well, they feel like when you're clicking them, they're clean. My triggers on the Xbox 360 controller kind of squeaked. They were annoying to press. You push it all the way down to the back, and it was almost too much going down. On the Xbox One, if you guys ever use a SCUF and use the trigger stops on it, it almost feels like a SCUF controller's trigger stops, even though you barely have to push down to shoot your gun or do whatever you're doing, depending on what game you're playing. But basically in Call of Duty, the controller, you just barely have to click it down to shoot and aim, and it's a big difference going from the Xbox 360 controller because it feels like you have trigger stops almost if you guys have used the SCUF, like I said before. So that's pretty much it for that. And move on to like the charging and the Xbox One controller. I have a cell phone that has the same type of charger for the back of the Xbox One controller. So I have a lot of household chargers like this, cause since like the US Cellular plan, I don't know why, but all their phones have the same charger, other than the iPhone obviously. But yeah, so it's like the same chargers, and I have a lot of these around my house, so I don't really have to change my batteries. I can just plug in one of my USBs to my Xbox One and charge it like that. So I don't have to go out and buy myself a charge and play kit or anything like that. So if you guys have any chargers or anything in your house that fits this little charger, you might find yourself saving money and easily getting your charge and play kit. Move on to the batteries. They do sell battery packs for this for like charging, but the batteries don't really have a pack anymore. It's just kind of sit them in there and put your slide your back on, and that's that. And then to wrap this video up, the last thing I noticed on the Xbox One controller was there's no screws or anything to take it apart. So I don't know if that's gonna help us or help Xbox players from getting in modded controller lobbies with like rapid fire and all that crap on it. But there's no screws, so I don't really see how someone's gonna be able to take apart the controller to put mods in and then put it back together. But guys, that's pretty much it for the Xbox One controller. That I noticed it does still have that same sync button, and the guide button is a little bit different. But other than that, everything's pretty much the same. ABXY, start and pause, or start and select button are the same. So yeah, that's it guys. I'll see you on my next video. Thanks for watching.